Hi there, meet Mr. FOS, otherwise known as Mr. Figures of Speech. He is the superhero in the city of poems. Mr. FOS's superpowers are knowing figures of speech and helping the city make sense of poems. But for some reason, Mr. FOS can't seem to remember three of his superpowers. These powers are using alliteration, metaphor, and simile. So, a poem named Time Out has come to meet him and help him remember these figures of speech. Let's see what the poem is about. Help! Heaps of books are ahead. How much am I scared? My mouth is as dry as a desert. My voice is a goner. My heart is beating as fast as a tiger. My hand is a rattling snake. My face is a tomato. I cannot take the pressure anymore. I lay my head upon my knee, hoping for no exams tomorrow, and I shall be free. Now blow the whistle, referee. Wow, Mr. FOS really liked the poem, but he still couldn't remember the figures of speech. That's when the poem Time Out said, look at the beginning of the poem. We can find alliteration there. In the first line of the poem, the sound H is being repeated. This is known as alliteration, where the beginning sound of the word is repeated. In this poem, the H sound is repeated. Suddenly, Mr. FOS smiled and said that he remembered now. We can see it in a sentence like, Peter Parker passed a pink pen to Pat. Now the poem Time Out showed him the next part. Here, they were going to find metaphors. The lines, my hand is a rattling snake, is an example of a metaphor. In a metaphor, two things are compared, but they do not actually apply to each other. So in this sentence, it does not mean that the hand is actually a snake, but instead, it's shaking a lot, just like a rattlesnake. There is one more example of metaphor in this poem, said Mr. FOS. It's the line, my face is a tomato. Here too, the face isn't actually a tomato, but instead, it's just become red like a tomato. Mr. FOS remembered this figure of speech too. He was really happy. Now only one figure of speech was left. Time Out the poem said that there is an example of a simile too. It's the line, my heart is beating as fast as a tiger. In a simile, two similar kinds of things are compared. In this line, the tiger can run fast and it's being compared to someone's racing heartbeat. So the heartbeat was as fast as a tiger running in the forest. Mr. FOS was so happy. He remembered all figures of speech with the help of this poem. He told the poem that the explanation was as clear as crystal. Now let's leave Mr. FOS alone with his newly regained memories. You can go make some examples using these figures of speech. See you next time.